lights are out and you stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Ruff-Neck Racing Truck Series. We are live here from Charlotte Motor Speedway. This is the Sim Racing Media Network. I am Angel Santiago, joined today by my broadcast partner, Alan Bergen?
You had it right the first time.
Bergen, damn it.
You had it right the first time.
Oh my gosh, I told you, I always freak myself out.
You know what, though? We're in Concord, North Carolina, the home of NASCAR, you know, the hub of NASCAR, on this beautiful 1.5-mile quad oval, and for the All-Star race. So, I got to you gave me an All-Star introduction.
You are right. The All-Star race it is, and I am excited for it. It is something, you know, that just, it's always, I guess, how do you explain it? You know, there's no points in the line. It's just glory, and I think that they're throwing out some money for them. But you know, forget that. You know, you're out here for the glory. You know, you're out here just to say you got to go win the All-Star race, and you know, no points regarded. So just go out there and win, Alan. That's all you got to do tonight.
Hey, I either want the checker or I want the steering wheel.
That's exactly how it is. Bring home the checker to bring home the steering wheel. One of the two.
Right.
the drivers are finishing up their finishing up their qualifying. So while they do that, we'll go ahead and jump over to our race info. 75-degree ambient temp, 7 miles per hour winds, 48% humidity. So track temp's looking right there at the same at 75. I expect a very grippy track, but at the same time, it's still the trucks, and at Charlotte, you will get some tire wear throughout the run.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too, Angel. I want to point out, to your point, also, is just as the run goes on, there's going to be multiple lines you can run, and you don't want to burn your tires off too quickly.
Yeah, and I like that they're mentioning burning off your tires too quickly. Really, the goal is, yes, to be able to save your tires, but I mean, you're going to be full throttle through 1 and 2 for probably the first 5 or 6 laps. Really, if you're a couple trucks into the pack, you'll have to let off, but at the same time, you're also dealing with the dirty air, so it's still putting some heat in that right front. It is not an easy place to save tires. It's just a fast track.
It is very fast, and it's I equate it to a driver's track. And there's what I like about Charlotte Motor Speedway is there's multiple places you can go. You can run the high side, or you can put it on a white line. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, and that's one thing about Charlie talking about is that it's one that I'm excited to see this track continue to age, because I feel like the racing will only continue to be better. I feel like it's going to be a lot like Atlanta almost.
Oh, for sure.
It's aging well, and yet it's just again, as we mentioned, it carries so much speed. So these drivers actually just finished up their qualifying sessions. So we'll go ahead and look over. And just so everybody knows, everybody was eligible to be in the All-Star race tonight. I mean, they're only in their 3rd season, so they said everybody gets there. However, past champions and past winners were the only ones that were allowed to qualify for attempt to qualify. Everybody else would just simply have to be situated wherever iRacing situates them. So we'll go ahead and jump over to the front of the pack here. And Dalton Steele is going to take the pole position. Not too surprising, Alan. I know Dalton hasn't been around much, but this is a driver who he might have the most wins, or he's up there with the most wins here in the Ruff-Neck Racing Truck Series. Through season 1 was a dominant season, and then plenty of wins there. Season 2 just hasn't been able to race as much due to his schedule, and so he's excited to be back. Stephen Shu starting on the outside of that front row, only 6 1/100th of a second off, so that's a very close. And Christopher Barker, man, this is very close. The front top 5 were within 7 1/100th of a second in their qualifying lap. Barker 2nd, Andrew Smith 4th, and Jeff Scott going to be in 5th. Johnny Hurst is going to be the outside of row number 3. Row 4 belongs to Jimmy Rowdy and Matthew Gall. Daniel Love and James Wagner in row number 5. And then row 6 belongs to Matthew Ace and Chris Ramsey. Then Chad Hawkins, Tim Richardson going to be rounding out row 7. And then the final driver in tonight's race, Mickey Davino, there in the final row 8. But I mentioned, the top 5 qualifying within 7 1/100th. I mean, that's the difference there. That's just one slight jerk of the steering wheel that you had, you just had a little bit loose or get a little bit tight, and that cost you probably the pole.
Yeah, so as we're getting ready to get the green flag here, I want to point out too that it's throwback night here at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Yes, throwback night it is. You're going to see some fantastic paint schemes here through the field. We'll get through them as best we can, but that iRacing.com pace truck ready to hit pit lane. Alan, take us away on this green flag.
All right, Dalton Steele on the button here as the iRacing.com pace car dips down and makes a hard left turn. Graham, I'll pull the 5-point harness grip. I'll take a Viagra pill because we are going racing here at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
That's a great introduction right there as they dive down into turn number 1, side by side for most of the field.
Dalton Steele out to that early lead, but here comes Steven shooting at number 00. And that's quick. He's got the next bunny on there. He's trying to get that bunny to the front.
Man, they're going 170 miles per hour as they hit turn 3 coming through 3 and 4 as they come across the line. It is Dalton Steele to lead lap 1. This is going to be a quick shootout. Only 75 laps in this race, so it's going to be quick and going to be a lot of tire saving required as the battle right now is for third between Christopher Barker and Andrew Smith in that number 4.
Yeah, Barker's had pretty good runs here, in the series that I've gotten to see, and I'm excited for what he can do the rest of the season. As right now, Johnny Hurst, it looks like he's going to be battling for that 4th position coming up. But yeah. Andrew Smith set the fast time.
Yeah, I was just about to mention that as well. 29.93. Again, you want to be careful about how you use up your tires here to start this run. 75 laps. You have 75% fuel for these trucks, so I'm imagining somewhere around 30 to 35 laps on a fuel run. So you have to make at least 1 pit stop, possibly 2, depending on how that goes. So that's another question. Are you trying to save fuel as well and try to make this a one-stopper if you possibly can?
I mean, I would, you're thinking 30, 35 laps. I'm thinking closer to 40. I think if you save, you can get closer to 40 and, like you said, turn it into a one-stop race.
And he's had the 78 now. Matthew Gall right up behind the 58 of Johnny Hurst. The front 5 stay the same for the moment. You see James Wagoner with a good run there on the outside. But here comes Jimmy Rowdy to his inside. And funny enough, I was wondering, what Jimmy would do because he's usually running a throwback there for Kevin Harvick, and this week in a tied throwback paint scheme.
I love the tied throwback schemes. There ain't nothing better than a tied throwback.
That is correct. I do apologize. Took a couple months for I think the puppy to finally come across the broadcast. I had been worried about that for so long and kind of, just ignored it. He'd been so good up until now, but that's what happens when we live in an apartment. Dalton Steele right now still in first, and Steven Schu's in second, but Andrew Smith is peaking there. Schu looking like he's already slipping a little bit there off of 2, maybe getting a little tight.
Yeah, that's the thing is you don't want to slip up and make any mistakes, as these guys will pounce all over you before you know it.
Yeah, I mean, you can very quickly get freight trained if you get stuck on the outside there in 3 and 4, even here in 1 and 2. But as the run goes on and as these tires, continue to show their age and show that wear, I fully believe that we will see some more of these trucks start rotating and moving to the outside, especially in 3 and 4, because you want to be able to carry some momentum still across the front stretch. And if you can stay high in 3 and 4, typically, of course, as long as the truck is handling well, you can carry that momentum across the front stretch.
Yes, you can. Dalton Steele leading this one, and he's not that. These guys are all over each other. So we're about 8 laps. We're 8 laps into this piece, and Dalton Steele's led every lap so far.
Yeah, and here comes Andrew Smith now to the inside. He peaked there off of 4. So yeah, for me, the 00 seems like he's starting to struggle a little bit, or he's starting to pull back now the reins and say, I do got to start saving these tires. And maybe the 4 himself is maybe starting to push as well. We'll have to see, of course, only 9 laps in. But yeah, even after 9 laps, it's pretty quick. I'd say even lap around 12 to 15 is where you're going to start seeing the drivers who've used up their tires really start to struggle and fall back.
Yeah, as for me as a driver, I don't know about you, Angel, but for me as a driver, I kind of want to hang in the back for the first 50 laps and then bring it for the last 25.
Yeah, I mean, and you want to get an idea of how these drivers are doing around you. Get a feel for your truck as you see our points leader here, Daniel Love, on the outside of the 96 of Matthew Ace, and wow, it carries great momentum there as Matthew's just not able to keep it on the inside. And that's the thing about 3 and 4 is that it's just really hard to keep it from losing itself off of 4 when you're trying to get back into throttle.
Yeah, and the other thing too is it's truck control, as we got a driver down on the apron, and there is no out of bounds here, so you can use literally every part of the racetrack that you want to.
Dalton Steele's pulled away just ever so slightly now, about 2.5 tenths over Steven Shue as Andrew Smith continue to kind of just battle, but not really battle for that second position. And then you got Chris Barker and Matthew Gall rounding out your top 5. So those 3 Toyotas, they are all Foothills Motorsports teammates. So Andrew Smith kind of just sandwiched in between them as well.
A Toyota sandwich is what I like to call it.
That's not one that I want to be in, but hey, you know what? There it is, Jeff Scott making the pass on Jimmy Rowdy, and then here comes Daniel Love to the inside as well. Look at the great run that Rowdy's going to get there on the outside. Doesn't attempt to go for the pass, the crossover. Instead, he says, I'm just going to go ahead and give you a push there, Jeff, and I'll sit right behind you. And I don't want to waste any more of my tires trying to fight you for a position, that I was already losing.
Yeah. I love that 29 truck. The old Tide Ride, right?
Yeah, that's exactly.
Don't see it anymore.
You got some great paint schemes all throughout the mellow yellow. You see the 96 Winston, and even the 45. I mean, I get this. I guess it's somewhat still. But here we go. We got a battle for a second with the 4 of Andrew Smith and that 00 of Steven Shue. Can he make the pass, and how quickly can he make it before they both burn up their tires?
That's the thing, is how quickly can you get by that number 4 truck, and he's going to think better of it. He's going to fall back in the line.
Yeah, I think the 00 said, yeah, you know what? I'm not going to fight you either on this. It's just going to, wear out both of our tires. So, plus Dalton Steele's now put out to a 1 second lead there now on Andrew Smith, as Steven Shue about to fall victim to Chris Barker, last year's champion, for that 3rd position, as they just completed lap 15, now onto lap 16.
Lap 16. Few more, they got to be getting antsy here. This is a short race, like you mentioned. It's only 75 laps, so you gotta be on your game.
And thanks for all of you for joining us in the YouTube chat. We always do enjoy having all of you guys with us, as you see the 58 of Johnny Hurst had just lost that position to Matthew Gall, and he is now under attack from that number 30 of James Wagoner. Is that a King of the Hill paint on there?
It is.
Hold on, let's see if I can get a... Oh my God.
Peggy Hill.
That's Peggy
Hill.
Hill. There they are, as they're battling right in front of them too. Let's jump on board as well. See, look at this view.
I used to watch that show all the time.
Oh, I love that show.
It still holds water even to today.
Yeah, it's one of those shows that, of course you can never have nowadays if it came out. But, oh, you're so happy that we had it when we did. Wow, you see that 78 Matthew Gall was loose trying to keep that truck there on that outside. And even the 30 of James Wagoner, you could hear on the throttle him having to let off so much there. And look at this. He's going to try to get to the outside, some clean air to the front of that truck to try to carry some good momentum and make a pass on that 78.
Man, James Wagoner there. Wagoner Welding. Driving the wheels off that truck right now. And he's only in P7, so he started 10th. He's up 3 spots from where he started from.
Yeah, he has made some good ground up to now. Right now, their biggest loser has been Jeff Scott, having lost 5 spots, as well as Jimmy Rowdy there. He's just lost that 11th position to Chris Ramsey and under attack now from the 96 of Matthew Ace. And for those of you in chat, let us know which of these paint schemes is your favorite of the throwbacks. You see this Terry Labonte one for Chad Hawkins. Mickey DeVino's, I'm not quite familiar with that one.
You know what would have been really cool though, Angel?
What's that?
Someone would have taken it all the way back to the 80s with Terry Labonte.
Now that would be a pretty nice paint scheme as well. I mean, I'm almost surprised we don't even have anything like, I mean, Carl Edwards. That's one of the more recent throwbacks, but everything else seems to be pretty far back. Honestly, I like this. The
number 71 truck there.
Yeah, that
the old
camera.
Jimmy Spencer one.
Yeah, the old Jimmy Spencer one. That's right. Here's then the 2 of Tim Richardson. I don't mention his. This is Mario Andretti's 1967 Daytona 500 throwback right there. So you got a almost 3-way battle right there in front of them. As we're talking about paint schemes for that 6th position.
Wow. Lap 23 here.
Yeah.
And that is Andrew Smith there, and that number 4 Ford F-150. He's holding off Christopher Barker, who is, he kind of peaks. He kind of takes a peek here and there, but then he kind of backs off.
Yeah, Barker's going to be patient on this. He's a patient driver. He's learned to be more patient. I'd say last year he had, a couple situations where he pushed it hard, but I mean, he won, the races and won the championship. Well, I guess, of course, that's what matters. But I've also seen a big improvement, at least it feels like, in his tire saving ability. I feel like early on, maybe it was just a couple of races, but it took him a couple of races to kind of figure out that tire saving here for the trucks, because he would be quick at the start and then, of course, fall back, and he's getting there now.
Well, now we're a quarter of the way through. We got 51 laps to go.
Yeah, we're
here from Charlotte, North Carolina.
A third of the way through this race. Green flag so far is you see the 71 and the 58 battling there for that 7th position. Daniel Love trying to make up that spot on Johnny Hurst. And we should be seeing some, I'm wondering, some pit stops here in the near future, as Barker keeps kind of peeking around that 4, as you mentioned, but nothing quite to do with it just yet.
Nah, yeah, he's just buying his time. He's like, look, I'm gonna make sure I know that I'm there, but I want you to sweat a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you also have to wonder if is Barker losing time to his teammate Dalton Steele up there in that first position. I mean, over the last, I think probably 3 or 4 laps, it's been pretty stable. The difference between first and second and third there, but you also have to wonder, could he be making up some of this time as well with some of those tires he saved?
And that's the thing too, Angel. Is we're 27 laps in. I would think we're getting within that 10 laps of the green flag pit stops. Christopher Barker looking to the inside once again.
Yeah, he's going to peak again. It looks like he's got a pretty good run off of turn 4, so he's going to have to try to use that to his advantage at one point. And I apologize there. I was just checking. The drivers did have 4 total tire sets for tonight's race. Of course, it's 3 additional to the one that they started the race with. And so, tires are going to be probably plenty for now, since, they'll be coming in and getting their first set here in just a few laps. But yeah, I mean, can you stretch it enough to try to make that make it a one-stopper? And if it is possible to make it at a one-stopper, at one point do you come in? Do you split it right down the middle, or are you gonna try to stretch it a little bit, hope for a caution, and have some of those fresher tires? as you got Tim Richardson now battling for with Johnny Hurst for that 8th position.
Yeah, here comes Tim Richardson on the inside. Johnny Hurst to his outside. I don't think he quite has the motor this time around, but he's right neck and neck with Johnny Hurst.
Yeah, man, there's almost contact right there off of 4, but they're doing pretty solid.
Buddy.
And even the drivers right there in front of him, Matthew Gall and Daniel Love, they almost look like they made contact. So we got some close racing as there's Johnny Hurst is going to be able to stay in front of Tim Richardson. Battles well here with Chad Hawkins and Jimmy Rowdy in that 13th position. But here it is. We got a battle for second. Barker's finally gotten to the inside of Andrew Smith. Let's see how long it takes for him to make that pass, as you know that outside carries such good momentum. Now is they just completed lap 30 now onto 31.
He's got to get by pretty quick. He can't afford to wait too long.
Oh yeah, he carried it really well through 1 and 2 there. Was able to just wrap the bottom and clear that 4 of Andrew Smith. And Stephen Shu right behind was probably going to be able to give some drafting help soon, but he's happy to clear him now as the Ford just stuck in that dirty air. The 46 really going to struggle there off of 4, going to hurt him more than I think he'd enjoy, because now the 00 is going to have a run and he's going to look to the outside. Not going to be enough, but yeah, that dirty air for the 4 is going to be really inconvenient here as he tries to hold off that 00.
Here comes Stephen Shu looking to make another run on Andrew Smith there. He's to the inside door bumper and he's clear. So that makes 3 teammates in the first 3 spots now.
Yeah, that's Foothills Motorsports right now, 1, 2, 3. And you saw Chris Barker on the backstretch go to the bottom and give his teammate just a little bit of that draft, anything that'll help him as it went into 3. And Andrew Smith didn't even put up a fight there. He said, yeah, I know you guys are faster at this point. You know, you're showing it. I'm going to have to just, let you on by. Another battle again here. Johnny Hurst and Matthew Gall for that 7th position. So Johnny Hurst was kind of falling back there, and it seems like he almost figured it back out and trying to move back forward again. And here it is, Dalton Steele making his way down pit lane.
You called it. Dalton Steele's down. Let's see here. Christopher Barker's down. Steven Shu's down. So Foothills Motorsports comes in the pit road together.
Yeah, that's exactly what they did. They split this right down the middle there as they came across and completed. No, not right down the middle. I'm sorry.
I mean, we're close enough.
Yeah, but that means that they possibly can't make it then. Yeah, I was thinking 30 to 35 laps would be about that fuel range. So unless you were doing some major saving, yeah, it doesn't look like you'll be able to make it across. Here comes Johnny Hurst. We're definitely going to have at least one more stop. So maybe not the money stop, but this could also be the stop that loses you an opportunity to win this race.
Yeah, I would have to be remiss if I think, lap 65, 63 set up for that last 10-lap run. Unless you get a couple cautions. I mean, a couple cautions come out, you can top off, and then you're good to go.
I think if a caution came out even right now, these drivers would more than likely make it to the end. Just assuming with the caution laps, come in, top off one more time and try to save a little bit of fuel. As the rest of your pack is making its way down pit lane, Dalton Steele right behind your current leader of Johnny Hurst. He's got the fresh tires. He's going to make his way around, get his lap back the hard way, doing it easily, however. As Johnny Hurst now on lap 36, it looks like he's slowing up. I see that the flames coming out there. He's making his way down pit lane on lap 36, and then Mickey Davino, he's on the apron here, so I'm assuming he's going to be coming down pit lane as well.
So here you go. So now you got, Davino came in, Hurst came in. So now everybody did their pit stops. Now we're going to do this again for another, 30, 35 laps.
And Dalton Steele did just an absolutely fantastic job on pit lane. I mean, just by far and away better than everybody else behind him. He gained almost a second there on these drivers behind him, and even though they came onto pit lane with them. But yeah, he was 0.6 quicker coming onto pit lane and off pit lane than his teammate. And wow, 1.4 seconds quicker than his other teammate. He even spent a little bit less time on his pit box. So that's a really good job on and off pit lane there for Dalton Steele.
Yeah, for sure. So, right now the gap is almost 3.5 seconds back to Steven Chu. Dalton Steele is ahead by 3.5 seconds. So,
I completely told you. I have been saying this wrong entirely. Dalton Steele is not on Foothills Motorsports. I am so sorry, everyone. I'm used to them having 3 Toyota trucks. We're missing Jeffrey Ledford. That's the third Foothills Motorsports teammate. I'm surprised he hasn't been in chat to scream at me for it. But yeah, so I apologize. No, Dalton Steele is part of the Social Outcast Racing team. So he's walking away with this right now.
Well, hey, the beautiful thing about YouTube is if you're wrong, they'll correct you.
Luckily, I haven't been up until now, so I appreciate everybody. Instead, we do have somebody actually quoting King of the Hill for us here, and everybody else rooting on their drivers, of course. So, again, thank you for all of you guys joining us here tonight. James Wagoner there in the 5th position. That previous lap had just had his fastest lap of the evening. So right now we got 36 to go, and we'll have to see how some of these drivers who maybe didn't quite do a good job saving tires the last time. Let's see if they figure it out this time, or maybe continue with some of those struggles.
Yeah, for sure. And right now I'm watching. I'm becoming, the more and more I get on these races with you, Angel, the more I'm becoming a James Wagoner fan. And that 30 truck, I love his paint schemes. I really do. He does it. He does this stuff for the kids, and he does these cool paint schemes for, like I said, for the kids. So.
Yep, there he is, doing so, passing that number 4 truck for the 4th position. And let's not forget, of course, his father's company, James Wagner's Welding, being the title sponsor for the Ruff-Neck Racing Truck Series now for its 2nd season doing so. So big shout out to his dad and their company for, being such big supporters of this league and, allowing these drivers to come out and do what they do and really enjoy themselves.
Yeah, and the other thing I wanted to say, too, is... like, subscribe, and hit the bell notifications. So that way, every time SRM comes on the air, you will be notified.
Yeah, make sure, definitely get those bell notifications running. Of course, all the great action that we get to see here on the Sim Racing Media Network throughout the week. Definitely something that you guys would be able to enjoy. You get to see some of the other drivers that we get to broadcast for as well, the talent that we have. And it's a ton of fun to be able to even watch some of these other races that go on. But right now, these drivers are having an all-star race they're trying to compete for and some glory right now. But Dalton Steele kind of just stinking them up right now. He's got a 3-second lead over the other Toyota, Steven Chu. Funny enough, 1, 2, 3 is exactly where they started.
All they need now is Jeff Scott to get up there, but right now he's in P11. As we were watching that 46 truck of, well, you got Christopher Barker there, but that 46 truck, are you a Nesquik fan?
I like.
Do you like Nesquik?
I do, yeah.
Oh, I love Nesquik.
We're gonna jump over here, back to that Tide truck you were mentioning earlier as well, as he is now on the heels of Tim Richardson. Ooh, looks like the 29's been into the wall a little bit. You see that right side of that truck is scraped up pretty good as well. Wonder if that's affected his handling in any way.
I mean, it's just a wall scrape, the old Charlotte stripe, I guess. We're on board with Jimmy Pyland Rowdy.
The steering wheel looked pretty straight to me, I'd say.
Yeah. Driver out of Midwest City, Oklahoma. There's not a lot of movement in there. He's not like really solid on the wheel. He is a little bit there.
Yeah, but he's in them dirty air too there, so that is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only, they're just maybe 14 laps into this run.
Turbulent air, I would say.
right, well, let's go ahead and go back over here. Let's see how is the leader driving here. Fresh air. Dalton Steele from Crooksville, Ohio. Let's see how his truck is handling.
I do like the line he's running, though.
Yeah, I mean, it is smooth for him. He can go exactly where he wants. Nobody in front of him to disturb. Even there, you heard him get into the throttle a little early. He had to check back up and like, oh, nope, no reason to push it. Back in the throttle a little too much.
Easy now. He put the "Do Not Disturb" sign out on the tailgate of the truck.
Yeah, he does. Here it is. Now we got a three-way battle for this fourth position between James Wagner, Andrew Smith, and I'm sorry, not a three-way battle. Daniel Love is just about a second behind them. Looks like they have a lap truck right behind them of Mickey DeVino. Here it is, Andrew Smith looking to take that fourth position back away from James Wagner. That'll put Andrew where he started. So your top four, exactly where they started. 1, 2, 3, 4.
What is the luck of having that?
Yeah, that's not, as you mentioned, Jeff Scott kind of being the outlier because Johnny Hurst is in 7th and he started in 6th, so he would have been only one position away in that regard. But James Wagner doing a pretty good job still trying to hold off Andrew Smith now with 25 laps to go.
25 laps remaining, and the sands of the hourglass are starting to wind down. And no, these are not the days of our lives.
No, but then these drivers, starting to get a little antsy as well, and you have to wonder, what's going to be going on through their minds. You mentioned maybe that lap 60, we could see him as late as lap 70, really. Some of those drivers having pit lap 33 to 35. So anywhere from 60 on. At what point do you come in for just a splash of fuel and no time? I mean, you have to imagine that we're going to see a lot of crazy strategy here in this final pit stop, with such few laps possible remaining. But also, you can still pit early enough to gain some spots, maybe, and some time with some fresh tires.
Yeah, so, I think if you take care of your tires at this point, the only way I'm taking tires is there's a caution. Now, if I gotta come in under green, I'm probably just gonna do a gas and go, depending on how late in the race it is.
Yeah, I know, but that's the question though, because I mean, if right now we're 20, yeah, we're coming on to 20 laps into this run, and the fall off is anywhere from 1.3 to 1.5 and more, so 1.5 seems to be an overall average, 1 seconds of fall off now. So you throw on another 10 laps, you could imagine that could be an extra maybe half second right there. So yeah, it's gonna be tough, top it off with fuel, or maybe even get right side tires, maybe someone do something like that to try to gain some time as well.
But right now we're working lap 54 out of 75 into the 13 truck. That's Chris Ramsey. He goes underneath Johnny Hurst to get that 7th position.
Yeah, looks like Johnny Hurst maybe even tagged the wall in the process there as Tim Richardson and Jimmy Rowdy are close together. And here it is, James Wagner. He's going to make his way down pit lane. So kind of early because it's only been 20 laps. But let's see what he does. Is he going to do tires? I mean, I had to imagine that if you're coming this early, you're doing tires. Because you want to take advantage of them.
More than likely, you're probably going to do tires.
I don't mean, there it is. Okay, so he's doing tires for sure. So we'll know after that if he does 4 or if he does 2. And we did see James Wagner pushing hard at the start of it, and right there where he started to get passed by Andrew Smith, and that's when he finally came down pit lane. So maybe that was his plan all along: drive as hard as I can on 20 lap tires, come back in, and now have 20 lap more tires that I can drive just as hard with, and and not pay that consequence so much of driving it too hard, where by then that's already the end of the run anyways.
Yeah, that's what you want to do. So, don't, come in early, take the strategy, come in early, and just then you can drive it like you stole it for the next 19 laps.
Yeah, and that's what he did the last, 19 or 20 laps. Drove it like he stole it. You saw him making up into that 4th position. So I'm just almost interested. Here comes Jeff Scott, so he's going to go ahead and pit as well. So it'll definitely be interesting to see what he decides to do. But it looks like a lot of these drivers are going to stay out here, maybe extend their run a little longer.
I think we're going to have that one guy that tries to take it to the bitter end.
I mean, you have to try, right? I think it looks like Matthew Ace might be coming down pit lane. The only drivers I can think that are feasible for that would be Mickey DeVino and then Johnny Hurst in that 7th position. But I would have recommended being behind another truck and just saving, fuel the entire time if, you wanted that to happen. But I don't think they're going to be able to make it all the way to the end.
I mean, you're not wrong.
And here comes and Dalton Steele right now with a 3.5 second lead. So it's gained about 3 to 4 tenths since they came off pit lane. It's just been, really Steven Shu and Christopher Barker, of course, not really battling each other. They're just being teammates, just working together, maybe trying to use some of that draft to help each other. But man, Dalton Steele is just, lights out, man. Man on his own planet right now with the lead that he's amassed.
Yeah. I call the Department of Defense because he is taking these guys to school with 16 laps to go here in this piece. So a lot of these guys came down lap 36, 33, and now that a lot of the guys are coming in lap 57, 54. James Wagoner came down lap 54. So, I mean, maybe they get closer to 60. Maybe they try to do it in one stop and take a chance. I mean, that's all you can do, and you're not racing for points.
Yep, here comes Andrew Smith here on lap number 60. Dalton Steele has Jeff Scott going around him. And, to put this into perspective, Dalton Steele's last lap was a 31.65, and James Wagner had a 30 flat. So that's 1.6 seconds quicker than Dalton Steele. And here comes Steven Shu and Christopher Barker now with 14 to go.
The longer we go into this run, the less laps we have. I mean, there's a chance that a caution could come out, but I would love to see this thing go flag to flag.
Yeah, well, I know Dalton Steele would agree with that as well. And then Daniel Love here, he's assumed that 2nd position. Chris Ramsey, Johnny Hurst, and Chad Hawkins have all not come down pit lane just yet. And Dalton Steele with a 3-second lead, he can afford to stay out a couple extra laps because he's going to have fresher tires, over these guys in front of him.
You're absolutely right. Dalton Steele, though, being the class of the field, got an 11-second lead. He's got something around the track figured out that no one else does.
Yeah, the question is just hope he doesn't stay out for too long and lose too much time because, yes, you have that much fresher tires, but you also have teammates that you'll have to battle more than likely. So they could very well make your life a little difficult. And I tell you how this worked out for James Wagner. Barker and Shu, those guys who did pit, looks like they all did take tires, but he actually leapfrogged Chris Barker and Steven Shu. I don't know if he's going to be able to hang on to it with 12 to go, but he leapfrogged Andrew Smith by 9 seconds almost. I don't think Andrew Smith is going to make up that time, so that's a great strategy call there for James Wagner. Even if it's not a race-winning one, man, that's a fantastic job by him.
Yeah, James Wagner there. Dalton Steele, though, he's still out front leading this thing as we have 11 to go. We're almost down to single-digit laps.
And it almost makes you wonder, so for Dalton Steele, he can't come and take tires. He's definitely coming as a just, splash and go, because it makes no sense taking tires in those final 10 laps really, or because you've already lost all that time.
I mean, he's out to what, 17 seconds? He's well on his way to the next race.
Yeah, 17 seconds over Johnny Hurst, who also has not pit. So you have to wonder how much he's trying to extend. He had pit lap 36 with now 9 to go. That's 60. Where are we at? 66? 60. Yeah, 65. 66, yeah. Lap 67, sorry. So he should be due sometime in the... You know, he might be able to stretch this out.
I think you take a chance, though. But if the two trucks are to run out of gas, James Wagner is going to be waiting in the wings.
Well, I mean, Chris Barker and Steven Shu are going to be... Here they are. They are coming, of course, with, you know, fresher tires than him by almost 6 laps. Yeah, right there. They're almost a second quicker than he was. So they're going to catch him before this and more than likely make that pass. But, again, it's really worked out, I'd say, for James Wagner over Andrew Smith. And then Mickey DeVino, he also has not come down pit lane. So he's running in that 6th position, hoping for a caution, of course, that would allow him to, you know, get back on the lead lap and, you know, leapfrog some of these guys, because we'd see everybody come back down for fresh tires again.
But right now, Dalton Steele's in pit. So that's going to give the race lead over to Johnny Hurst.
Yeah, Johnny Hurst right now, we focus in on him. On him as your leader with now 7 laps to go. Now, lap 36 again. Yeah, he can probably go just another 3 to 4 laps. I just don't know, can he make it the next 2 or 3 laps after that? As Dalton Steele's coming off, I'm telling you, James Wagner really wasn't a bad option, because he actually does take the lead here with Barker and Steven Shu going around Dalton Steele. So with 6 now, 5 to go, we have a 4-way battle for the lead.
Yes, we do. This is going to get real good here with 6 to go, as we are coming down to the final laps of this one. When does Johnny Hurst finally blink and give up the lead? You know, that's the one thing we got to realize. He's going to have to go into the pit sometime.
He also has a 17-second lead, so I mean, depending on how much saving he's been doing, he could really, really clutch it and save here. You see Matthew Gall coming down pit lane. So Barker and Shu clear Wagner. Now it takes Dalton Steele to catch them. Dalton's 1 second back. He took right sides. Dalton Steele did. I don't know if he's actually going to be able to catch and pass these guys.
Well, you got to catch him. It's for 4 laps to go. Catching him's the easy part. You still got to get by him, though.
Yeah, and that's the problem with 2 tires. You know, even though they're fresher right sides, your left sides are older than the guys in front of you. And here it is. The 58's behind. Here he is. He's drafting to 38. He's trying to save. A little too late, I think, to try to do that. But hopefully he's already been trying to do that this entire time, because that would be a steal for this one.
Well, you done made your bed, so now you got to lie in it.
I love it. That's the way to say it, Alan. That's one of my favorite ways to say it. Yes, you made it. Now you got to lay in it. And, yes. He's doing exactly that. He's got a 14-second lead now with 3 to go, where we're on the cusp of, he'd pit on lap 36. It's now 36 laps later. Can he just stretch those extra 3 laps? And you know what? Run it dry.
Run it dry. Don't even do the burnout. You ain't going to have enough gas for the burnout.
And then, you know, Steven Shu and Chris Barker, they're second and third. They're teammates, but how much longer are you going to be teammates where, you know, you want to make this happen, as we're now down to 2 laps to go. Dalton Steele right on the bumper here of James Wagner, but it doesn't even look like he can possibly make that pass. So we're jumping back and forth, but we got a couple people who could be in position to win this race, as Johnny Hurst is going through 3 and 4 now with 2 to go.
Yeah, popsicle sticks are in the air. Barney's going to put the popsicle sticks away, and he's going to bring out...
He's out! No! Johnny Hurst is out of fuel!
Whoa!
He is not going to make it back around!
Oh, tough break.
No, he is not. He needs a caution like immediately. Oh my goodness, Johnny Hurst is gonna run out of fuel. I mean, he stretched it so far. I am unbelievable. And here it is, Steven Shu.
Steven Shu. Oh man.
I don't think Barker's gonna have enough to make it happen. Here it is, Steven Shu through 3 and 4 in a stunning turn of events. Steven Shu is gonna come off of turn 4, and he's gonna take your All-Star race here at Charlotte in a caution-free All-Star race. Could you believe that?
Rag to rag, green to checkers. And you know what? I just feel so bad for Johnny Hurst. And he had to try. He had to try.
That was a valiant effort, man. He was a mile and a half short.
You know, I know we normally do the top 3, Angel, but we really need to talk to Johnny and see what is. I think for one night, it's the All-Star race. I think we should do 4 interviews.
All right, let's go ahead and quickly let's see if we can go find him then. And I'll let you take this one away.
All right.
Johnny,
hello?
This is Alan here in the broadcast booth. You got us.
I got you, bud.
Well,
man,
per request, we're gonna bring you in here.
All right.
I requested it, but anyways, man, so close. What's your mindset right now? As you took the white flag and unfortunately you just run out of fuel.
With 3 to go, coming to the 2 to go, my spotter changed. He said, "You have 1 point, a little over a lap left." And I went, "Uh-oh." So I start clutching it. And as soon as I took the white flag, I thought I had like 0.4 left. And then all of a sudden it just started ticking, and then I was out. It happened quick.
Oh, man.
In my head and the figures I had on iRacing, man, I could have made it. But, I mean, it is what it is. It was an all-star race. It was fun. I like these green flag laps. I mean, I can't complain. It is win or go home tonight, so.
Records or checkers, buddy. Bring me the wheel or bring me the checker flag. Well, we got to do this. We got to commend you on a valiant effort. And, I mean, I told Angel, I said, he's got to try something. He's made his bet. He's going to lie in it.
Oh, yeah. Just shortly after that last pit stop, I started clutching it, and I dropped I don't know how many spots just trying to save. And, man, when I decided to go, it said I had enough. I just half a lap short, bud.
Well, before we get you out of here, is there anybody that you'd like to think to help get you here tonight?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Wagoner's Welding and this Ruff-Neck crew. Ruff-Neck Racing, man, they put on some good races. Fun league. I'd just like to thank all those guys.
Well, all right, Johnny. Well, it was good talking to you. And we was hoping that you do a few spots better, but that's the way she goes. And we'll see you on the next one.
All right, bud. See you.
All right, that was Johnny Hurst. We jump back over here to Steven Shu as he burns it down. So let's go ahead and bring in your all-star winner here, Steven Shu. Oh, wrong one. Hold on. Try that again.
Got him.
All right, Steven Shu. This is Angel and Alan here in the SRM broadcast booth. You got me, buddy.
What's happening, Angel?
Well, Steven, you sound a little bit surprised, but walk us through, because what went on there in those final 10 to 15 laps?
Honestly, me and Chris, we'd planned on dipping in, grabbing some tires with like 10 to go, and we were conserving. I mean, that's what the race is all about. And, we were sitting there and we got to thinking, was like, man, if we go green, we got guys pitting now, we're going to have to go now. So we dipped down there with like 12, 13 to go, and it paid off big time. I mean, it really paid off big time. I couldn't believe it. Whenever we're like, Johnny's got it in the bag. He's 17 seconds ahead. No, then all of a sudden Chris starts yelling, saying, look, it's counting down. 5, 4, he's out of gas.
Yeah, once I noticed, I was like, "Oh my goodness, he's out of gas." I'm like, and he's just not got enough of a lead. You're gonna catch him. So, it was unbelievable. And even then, you had James Wagner, who was one of only 2 drivers to split it right down the middle, and that really did almost work out for him because he wasn't far away from having almost beat you guys to the line as well.
Oh yeah. Dougie went in and pitted quite a ways in front of us. I mean, we was kind of keeping up with everybody and everything because we knew it was going to be a wear game. And when we come out behind Dougie and I think it was Tim Richardson, we come out behind and Dougie had 5, 6 more laps on his tires than we did. So we made the decision, let's turn it, burn it, and let's both get a podium. So we said whatever we got at the end, we'll just be burned up if that so be. So that last 10 laps, I mean, we were putting in work, just giving her the beans.
Yeah, you guys did. You had as well Tony Poe in chat cheering you on, congratulating you on the victory. So Steven, who all else do you have to thank and celebrate here before we let you go enjoy this all-star victory?
Definitely got to throw a shout out to Jamie for putting this on. I mean, this is what it's all about. This is for him. I know I hadn't talked to him in a week or so, but Jamie, this win was for you. Got a shout out to my team. Jeffrey couldn't make it tonight. He had some practice football with his kids. Foothills works good together. We're a good team. We're one of the smaller teams out here, but we work great together. Got a shout out to Chris. He's the brains of the operations. I got to give him that. He's the man with the plan. Definitely got to give a shout out to my family. Shout out Tony Poe. That's my uncle. Remember, my pops passed away. That's his brother right there. So got to give a shout out to pops, my brothers, my family. My mom, my cousins. Everybody's watching tonight. I told them. I said, just watch tonight. So I had a lot of people in there watching tonight. And shout out to the wife and the good little above to let this pull off the way it did.
And I love it, absolutely, Steven. That's how you celebrate it right there. So go out, keep it burning it down, enjoy it, and we'll see you next week for some more points action.
Yeah, Angel, thank you what you do. And Ruff-Neck, it's one of the best leagues out there.
Oh, it is. It's a pleasure to always get to put it on for the show. Thank you, Steven, and congrats again.
Thank you, Angel.
All right, Alan, go ahead and bring in Chris Barker. Take us away.
Will do.
Hello.
All right,
Chris,
Barker.
this is Alan and Angel up in the SRM broadcast booth. How's it going?
Just good. It's good, man.
Good. So we just heard from your Foothills Motorsports teammate there, Steven Shu, and you get P2 tonight behind him. How good of a feel to put the small team with Foothills Motorsports on the podium tonight, 1-2?
Awesome, man. I can't believe it. I thought Dalton had it in the bag for sure, and I don't know where he ended up pitting or what happened. And then, I thought Johnny had it, and I heard Jeff Scott ask Johnny, are you out of fuel? And I looked up, and I seen it counting down, and I was like, oh, my God, dude, he just ran out of gas. It was wild, man. That was a crazy finish.
Well, running for no points tonight, but, it sounds like you guys had a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was awesome.
So what kind of, going into the rest of the season, what's the rest of the season you feel like it's going to be for you?
Just try to have fun and honestly try not to wreck anybody and hurt their chances. I've missed too many races to be in the points. So, yep, just have fun, help my teammates, and kind of stay out of the way a little bit. All
right, before we get you out of here to go celebrate with the rest of your team, who do you like to think that helped get you here tonight?
Foothills, Jeffrey and Steven. I wish Jeffrey could have been here with us tonight. He had football practice, couldn't make it. Ruff-Neck, Tim, Dougie, all the guys, they do an awesome job. James Wagner, the sponsor, want to thank him. And y'all guys and my family. I hope my wife's watching. I'm not sure if she is, but I want to thank her for putting up with me playing this so much.
Definitely got to give a shout out to the wives. They go through so much, and I tell Angel all the time. He, once he He's got 3 rings to look forward to: the wedding, the engagement ring, the wedding ring, and the suffering.
Yep.
Alan's always the jokester here.
But
We appreciate it,
anyway,
Parker.
Yep. Thank y'all. Y'all have a good night.
Yep, we'll see you in the next one.
All right.
All right, let's round this out here with our third place finisher. Let's bring him on in, and James Wagoner. Let's see. Where's Dougie? Oh, there's Dougie. Dougie, this is Angel and Alan here in the broadcast booth. You got us, buddy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, walk us through, because that was quite the strategy there. You were one of only 2 drivers to split it right down the middle, and you drove it hard the first 20 laps. You drove it hard those last 20 laps, and I mean, you had a big gain there. It was definitely probably the best strategy I think anybody had tonight. So, walk us through that mentality and, really how you felt there towards the end when it was, kind of working out, but then, you can kind of realize those drivers pulling up behind you.
Yeah, I think I pitted maybe 3 or 4 laps too soon, but I had to take a chance to do something, try to make some ground up, but thought I had it whooped, and then I seen these 2 yellow cars coming, so I knew it was over with. But congratulations to Steven and Chris second and stuff. I mean, it was a good race.
Yeah,
kind of boring though, but it was fun.
I mean, it's a great race. We always interesting when you get these full green flag races, especially when it's these shorter 75 lap ones, so like this, so it almost feels like it goes by quickly, but at the same time, as a driver, you probably just needed a break as well.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh man, well, James, has been a really fun all-star race here for us, and we hope you guys got to enjoy it as well. Who all you have to thank before we let you go celebrate this podium finish, and then we head to Kansas next week?
I got to thank y'all guys for the broadcast. Gives us a chance to go back and watch it and watch our mistakes as well, But I'd like to thank my father, James Wagner, as well, and all my teammates at Social Outcast Racing, the Ruff-Neck guys, just everybody that runs with us. Is a good group of guys.
Yeah, it is a great group. Everybody's always got such good things to say about the league, and well, congratulations again there on your third place finish, and we'll let you go. Enjoy.
Yep, appreciate it.
All right, that was your third place finisher there, James Wagner, Dougie as they call him here. Let's go ahead and go over that final race result here with everyone. Steven Shu was mentioned, of course, your winner here tonight, Chris Barker. They ran second and third almost the entire race, would come out victors at the end with their strategy. James Wagner in third with his strategy moved up a couple spots as well, did a great job. Dalton Steele dominated the race, had this race won, and just, wasn't the right strategy there for him at the end. He'll finish in fourth. Andrew Smith in fifth. Daniel Love comes up to sixth place from his ninth place starting position. Chris Ramsey in seventh, Chad Hawkins in eighth, Jimmy Rowdy in ninth, and then Johnny Hurst would round out your top 10. And Jeff Scott there in 11th, Matthew Ace in 12th, Mickey DeVino in 13th, Tim Richardson in 14th, and then Matthew Gall gonna round out your field there in 15th. Alan, that was a great all-star race here we got tonight. Thank you for joining me.
Oh, dude, it was fun. It's my pleasure. This is a great, talented group of guys here in the Ruff-Neck Racing League, and I look forward to watching more of these races with you as the season goes on. But, we're going to pack this show up and take the circus on out to Kansas, so a stop in the Midwest. Can't wait.
Stop in the Midwest of Kansas. Kansas and the trucks, definitely one of my favorite pairings here on the iRacing subscription. So for everybody watching, make sure you tune in. Same time as always next week. Alan, we got a couple things going on here tonight, don't we, here on the Sim Racing Media Network?
We do. So right now, we have the Racers Elite Xfinity Series. They are 60 laps into 105 laps, and we have Moonshiners that's currently going on right now, and they are at the Circuit of the Americas. And then tomorrow night at 7. No, wait, not 7. 6:30, 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central. You have the Racers Elite Next Gen, and you can hear Dave Regal and Daniel Falls Jr. on the call, as well as seeing myself and Jonathan Leach actually race in that one. So that's going to be from the old Atlanta, not the new Atlanta. So there's a lot going on, and then after that, everybody else is off until Sunday, and that's Sunday night NASCAR at around 6:45 Eastern, I believe. I might be backwards. Don't quote me on that. Anyways,
fine. They're on there. Everybody, you can always just check them out. Make sure as Alan said earlier, just like, share, subscribe. Or subscribing is the big part, so that you can get those bell notifications regarding when those races are going on. And
yes.
Well, yeah, so appreciate it again, Alan, for jumping in. Thank you, everyone, for joining us here tonight for the All-Star race for the Ruff-Neck Racing Truck Series here at Charlotte. We've had a great season, an All-Star race with nothing but green flag racing, not one caution. I can't think that many All-Star race of any leagues can say that. So, congratulations, great job to all the drivers as well on the track. And we'll see you next week at Kansas. Have a great night, everybody.